And it wouldn't pull the audio and the video. Let me make
Well,
sure
I was
it's
kind of messing around with it. I don't really know. And then that the link she sent me was a different, it was something stream, and I don't have
yeah.
any I haven't done that before. I don't know, but
Oh
um
yeah, yeah. You have back in the day. Oh, we used a
okay,
different one. We were using Be Live, but no, no.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it worked. Sometimes
Yeah,
it we have to go on Zoom because the other one doesn't work. Let me see if it's working.
I see. Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
it's
in my
working.
van.
Yeah. So you're in your house on wheels. I'm gonna tag you.
Yeah.
Let me tag you.
I got back in here last Monday, so I've been in a week now.
So what were you doing for previous to that?
For 2 months, I was caretaking, caregiving a guy whose wife committed suicide
Oh wow,
and helping him take care of his animals. He
wow.
had like 3 dogs, 3 cats, and he needed help because she did everything. So he needed, like, the first month, he said, I'll pay you just to be here, just to be somebody to be in the house, because he was really going through it. So,
Right.
and then the second month, he paid me to just basically help with the animals, take him for walks, and help walk him through things. Going to the store, how do you do this? Where's that? Because he had kind of pretty much given all that stuff over to her,
Wow.
and so he needed to reclimate himself, and so he's doing better now, and he's back. Got a new girlfriend right now, so hopefully she doesn't do that again. I
Wow.
think he needs to keep his power.
So are you in Oregon?
Yes, I'm in Brookings.
Brookings. Wow.
Yeah, and
So,
it's
yeah.
over 60 today, so I got my summer stuff on.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful. Very grateful. Um, I put some peppermint on the back of my skull because I'm definitely the last 2 or 3 days the energies have hit me in the head, neck, and you know,
What
blurry
it
vision,
what
all
is
kinds of stuff.
what does the peppermint do? Where do you put it and what does
I
it
put
do?
it right at the back of the base of the cranial,
Hmm.
right there, and it just kind of takes care of that boom, boom, boom thing. It helps make things flow,
Hmm.
opens it up.
Far out.
Other than that, I'm kind of having to lay down a lot and just sleep a lot.
I know. Like what
Uh-huh.
the hell? Like I can't even
Yeah,
like the last few nights I'm sleeping like a lot. Like
yeah. But this is
like
like when I got back in the van, it was like at least like 48 hours I was sleeping all the time.
yeah. I think there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole thing starts happening of I should be doing something. I'm not doing anything. I'm lazy but it's not. It's really
Mhm.
work.
Yeah.
Resting is work, which is crazy, but it's true.
Yeah. For me, I just wanted to make sure I go, well, gee, I hope I'm not getting sick. But I haven't been around really hardly anybody, and I go, no, you're not sick. So this is my inner dialogue. It's like, honey, just trust it. You've been through this. Those days where you just have to let go. So that's my mastery, is letting go, and don't be holding on to the bank with your
Yeah.
fingernails, of
Yeah.
energy. And you have to. I mean, I have to. If I don't do that, and then I'm fine. If I go with that and what my heart and soul says, I'm good. But I really, seriously, it's just take care of what has to be taken care of and do nothing else right now.
Yeah. No doubt.
Hmm.
No doubt. It's like a full-time job. That whole
It
stay
is.
Yeah, that whole staying in your own lane thing is becoming really easy because you don't have time for anything else.
Yeah. I woke up and the dream this morning, it was like a lot of times I'm not remembering them, but this morning it was like I was in the chaos of, like, I don't know, my family of origin and marriage and all that. And it was so chaotic and stuff. I just left there. I just left, and with nothing. And I saw like a cargo ship, and I got on it. It had all this package and baggages and stuff. And I didn't know where it was going, but I got off somewhere, and it was the same thing there, same kind of chaos. And so I'm walking around observing as the whole, everything's in a conundrum and a turmoil, and people are trying to find places and people are trying to help people. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And then I woke up. So I realized that that's the outside, the illusion that's crumbling. And my heart is just saying, you got to just take care of you, and that'll be enough. If you can find the joy and the relaxation while this is going on within yourself, then you're going to be helping people that you don't even know you're helping.
Yeah.
So that's my job. That would be my job.
I think that's like the key ingredient is like at the end of the day, uh, you know, like being aware and sensitive to what you need, all the
Mm-hmm.
different bodies that you are. That's the greatest thing you can do. Like
Yeah.
for everyone, including
Mm-hmm.
yourself, obviously. But I mean, that's like, there's so much of that. What is it like? Wounded healer archetype. Even though it may not be someone that specifically sees themselves as a healer, but thinking that we're making our best contribution by fixing something or someone.
Mm-hmm.
When the reality is we do what you're doing, and that's the best thing we can
Well,
do.
I guess that was the thing. I get this call. It was middle of this. Well, it was actually almost the third week of December, and it was the neighbor of where I had pet sit, and she said, you better call Steve, because she texted me and told me what happened, and he wants to talk to you. So she had left a note, and it was he wanted certain people to know the note if they wanted to. And so that's when he asked me if I could stay there, and even if I parked in the driveway. But he said, you're welcome. He had plenty of room. He had a back bedroom kind of section of the house. So I just kind of took up residence right there. And just he said, just knowing you're there, he goes, makes a big difference. And he wanted my energy. I guess they really felt good with my energy when I watched their animals when they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason for him connecting me. And also, well, she's the one that found me. So, as month two went on, we started kind of realizing she'd been planning this for a while, for
Yeah, isn't it
several months
something?
actually. Yeah. So she vacated, and so I was kind of stunned, not really knowing what I was doing, but I realized it must be my energy and just holding space, a sacred space. And and then he was generous about paying me, so I just did that. And then the second month, we started taking the dogs, out a lot, and it got more familiar. And then I pet sit across the street to the neighbor, and it's a cul-de-sac. So there's a lot of neighbors really in his business, caring about him. And one of the neighbors didn't like me. So she didn't like my energy. And so it was like, okay, so when I left there, I was really ready to go, because she just was uncomfortable with somebody being in the house with him while the other lady was gone.
She must have had she must have an eye for him or something.
No, she's married, but
Mm.
a couple of the ladies that had known the gal had their own sort of journey to do with her taking her life and all, and whatever their relationship was. So I know that happens to me sometimes. People will vent on me, project on me, and so I just realized, where am I with this in my personal energy? Where am I? So it was my opportunity to go in there in my shadows, those parts. I had a lot of deep shadow work while I was there.
Really?
And this was all kind of like around New Year's, you know, and I realized, it really is like stuff I really didn't. It was unconscious programming, people pleasing, caring what other think,
That's what
you
I'm
know.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That
Mhm.
what do they call it? Wounded healer archetype.
Yeah.
It's like where
Hmm.
we had that pattern of overgiving, 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 and then you look at the root of it, and the root of it is essentially we're trying to prove our self worth. We're trying
Hmm.
to raise our value and make it indisputable, and
Hmm.
but that's interesting. So when the lady that didn't like you tried to, or when her energy was presented to you or projected on you, you didn't engage it. You just,
No,
that was
no.
powerful.
Well,
That's a powerful
the
thing.
word came up like crazy. like, you're just crazy. And I go, yeah, I know. I'm not in a box. I'm not in a box.
She said you were crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I go, yeah, I guess some people would consider that, probably because I lived in my van, traveled around. But I really didn't hear from her direct. It came from Steve, the guy. She would call him over and tell him stuff and try to school him. And
I wonder why he was telling you. That's weird.
Exactly. He just said, he said, don't take it personal. She, he had his own perspective that she was feeling guilty about something that she might not have done that could have stopped.
So he was aware enough to see her programming.
Yes, yeah. Totally. Right. Yes. And then so when he hang on there, somebody next door is starting their big loud vehicle. So I pretty much just said, well, I'm going to send her love and I'll stay out of her way, but it did get kind of pretty hairy there towards the end, and I just did my own thing. But I definitely was feeling it, emotionally, and I go, this is what needed to happen. I needed to, like, mostly that would happen when my boys or my children would have a discrepancy with me or something, or not in harmony with me, then I would feel wounded. And now, I've already let that go. This was within the month I let go of all of that, and I just said, that's part of what you have to let go of. I have chosen to be happy, and that is not making me happy to feel like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's one of the things that I kind of came to a head with, I think, last month, was I noticed some patterns. And of course, like you, I took everything into myself and then I made some decisions. But basically, why do we tell people things about other people? You know what I mean? Like somebody, I had a situation where several times over a period of time, and I just happened to notice it as I was working on myself, which was, why do people tell you things about other people that are not, let's just say they're not becoming of that person? They're not positive conveyances of information. They're, you know what I mean? And I'm like, why are these people telling this person who then told me what they said about me? Like there's an agenda. There's a reason behind it. And I understand we're all like coming into our own here, but I just decided at that point, some point last month, I'm like, I even removed some people. I just don't do that. But I was just like, I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. And I'm damn sure going to keep an eye on myself, the things that I say to people about other people. Even if it's just me and Morgan talking, or I'm being sarcastic, I just can't do it anymore. I need to.
Yeah, that's really become crystal clear for sure. I can feel it. You just feel it. Now it's more energy than even process about it. It's just, I can feel that energy. I'm like, I said, no, like you say, not my circus, not my monkey. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to be in it. It doesn't make me feel happy, and I could see nothing good coming from it. And it could be the whole simple fact that when you're in a neighbor of a cul-de-sac, everyone's looking at everyone's house in this cul-de-sac. And it's really, some of these people, they are all retired and they just don't have anything else to do. I don't know. Maybe they're used to drama. I really don't know. That is not my process. So trying to not get involved in that, I would just say, like, to the person I was, staying there with, I think, well, I'm just going to send everybody love and I'm going to stay out of it,
Right.
And it's really unfortunate, but, so for whatever reason, I didn't attach to whether my reputation is tarnished about pet sitting or any of that. I just am going to be me. And me, who that is just not even my identity anyway. So I realized, oh, okay. So there's a lot of inner dialogue that I coached myself through the divine to realize, really, what are you doing? Be a participant in what you want, not what you don't want.
Right.
And don't wear yourself out. Because really, energies have just put me down a lot. So I'm like, you're tired. And I go, if you have to process this too, how are you going to do this? So I had to get real with myself and then realize, and also, those shadows, the deep shadows. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I go, some of it's just old pattern, and it came up big, just came up really big here for me to just step through it and say, see you later. I'm done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like, it's like another version of walk the talk.
Mhm.
Like I've been saying for 2 or 3 years, I can't be sarcastic. And I've been less and less and less. And it's just, for me, it's just humor is a tool. I like humor. But
Mhm.
if you look at some of the things that, well, I'll just speak for myself. I look at some of the things I might say. It's no different. If I'm being sarcastic, like just off to the side, it's just between me and you, and I make a sarcastic comment that's in fun, but it's really not. Okay. Then I'm actually doing the same thing that lady was doing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm being
I
disruptive.
do. I also think that, my experience has been that I don't say anything. It's just my presence, and
Hmm.
somebody feels like they're disturbed that I'm not disturbed.
Right. Well, that's
And
how
so
it works, though.
that's why it looks like I'm crazy, because I'm not reacting. And
Yeah.
and then by just being myself, or because I'm more in my true nature or something, if there's stress or something, I'll giggle or I'll laugh or something, and somebody will be triggered by that I'm making fun of them, and I'm not. It's
I know.
part of how I release energy. And so it did happen with the guy I was staying there with. And we were trying to figure something technical out on the phone, and he was really frustrated, and he'd just gone to the bank, and he went by himself. But he's emotional, he's healing and grieving and all that. And
Of course.
I wasn't laughing at him. I just kind of giggled because the tension was, and then that's how I released the tension. And I didn't know how much I should be helping or just stay back. And then I apologized to him. I said, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing as to the tension. And I
Right.
said, I said, as a little girl, I used to giggle at funerals. You know, Parents would bring you, there'd be an open casket, and I would get the giggles. It would happen in church. I said, it's always been a way of me to release the tension. And so it's not anything personal, but if you take it that way, I guess you do. So, those kinds of things, is just be myself, is triggering for people, because
Right.
I'm living my life differently, you know.
I'll say,
So that when that happens, then it kind of makes, I feel like I want to shut down and not
yeah,
do anything, not be myself. So I'm like,
yeah.
no, you're not going to do that. you know.
I mean, you've been on a hell of a ride. I mean, I've known you since 2014.
Yeah.
We've
It's
all been
been,
on a hell of a ride, but I mean, yeah,
yeah.
I actually came across one of the early videos we did together.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty old. It was like 2016.
Yeah. A little
And
reflection on all of that too. I realized what it is I wanted to have experiences. So some of them weren't like, I chose them probably not for my highest. Well, maybe they were for my highest good. I did
yeah,
choose them to really expand in that kind of environment, to really grow from it. And so they were choices. And I think some of this was what happened recently. And my choices were also to like get messy, get in there and get messy, and be human. And um, if somebody doesn't like you and they badmouth you or whatever, what are you going to do with that?
right.
You're going to still be you? Are you just going to be true to yourself, or what? So I think I do that to just test myself, you know. And
Well,
I'm like, well, I don't need to do that again now. I'm
no,
done with that. But
no. Yeah, I think we do it to have a little contrast. Like, you know
sure.
what I mean? I mean, like,
Hmm.
and then I think too, I think there's been a lot of that too, has been things showing themselves one more time before they go down for the count.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it feels like.
yeah,
It really does. Feels like that. And it's
yeah.
been quiet. Like I feel very much better alone and with myself, because this is uh, I'm establishing a new way of being. So it's like a new birthing, becoming and letting go. And so I'm definitely protective of that. I want to make sure that I'm not being influenced by anything other than what divinity is coming through me. and not be watching to somebody else for their leadership or their opinion or any of that. And so I think this is perfect for me to be like in my van and move around when I want to. But so far the planet is saying this is where you're to be for now. And I'm happy here. And aside from that, I'm hardly ever lonely. It's very rare I'm lonely. I've got Soulogy, and some other girls that are my support. And we don't need to talk to each other, but I just know they're there.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. I'm not alone at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know just like from the lifestyle that it can get pretty rough. And
Hmm.
I know like just keeping tabs on you because I don't surf a lot on the news feed, but certain people, they always pop up, right? Because I guess that's how the algorithms work. But I notice you've had some tough times,
Hmm.
and you always seem, and you've also had some magical times
Yeah.
that you've
Hmm.
posted about and done videos about.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like I can't imagine. I mean, for me to be 50s and grab a suitcase and a microphone and a computer and just start traveling around. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds, so I can, and I've been homeless and I can take care of myself, mentally and so on and physically. But to be doing what you're doing, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty. I mean, did you ever have moments where you're just like, man, I can't do this? Or what did you do?
Um,
What did you
mi-
do in your dark moments?
what,
What did you do in your tough moments?
well, I have a lot of little things I enjoy doing, my little hobbies. I'm crocheting, coloring, that kind of thing, and music, big into that. And then, like if I want, I go out and I'll go see somebody playing music too. I went
Mm,
to a play the other night. Um, so I do, and then there's farmers market, a few of the people I know, so we can say, hey, so I've got a thing going, but I'm always connected with animals too, critters and animals and trees. So I've got a whole bunch of family always around me. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Nature
yeah.
family. And but yeah, there was like before this 2 month thing, in December, I was feeling it because it was really raining and cold a lot. And I go, I'm ready for a pet sit, and but lo and behold, it came within 2 weeks and it was this. And I'm like, wow. I didn't think about it. I just was kind of like numb as to what the whole circumstance might be like, but I knew I could do it. And I knew I could be present and I could be a good source of, calmness and
Right,
peace, that
right.
kind of thing. And then I got to be inside and, have my own bed and room and all that, and a kitchen and all that. And if I wanted to engage or speak, I could, but I was there to really like give hugs, be supportive. But I had a lot of time to myself in the bedroom. I didn't have to go out there, like he said. He's not expecting that, just somebody to be there and maybe go with him when he had to go places so he wouldn't start crying, doing stuff that
How long had it been since she transitioned?
it was mid-December.
God,
Yeah. So very soon, not too long ago. And so a lot has occurred during that time.
I'll say
And then he connected with somebody, and they've been friends for many years off and on. So yeah, he made it through that. And then his dad died a couple weeks ago too. His dad was in the hospital, had a transplant. I think it was a heart thingy, something of some sort, but he had a kidney transplant, and all that just went haywire when he was in there. They put him in the
wow.
COVID ward, and so he's had 2 deaths now. He's having, grief from, and I think he's doing amazing. And so it's intense. And
Well,
then my
you
son, the one that had his injury, he's been going through it. So he will like call me, and he's venting because he's not understanding why he can't have the freedom he wants. And you know he thinks he's being lied to. And I just go, man, all I can tell him is trust your heart, what your gut say, and say what you want and
is he,
visualize what you want, because I can't do anything for him. He's
is
got
he
to do
still
it.
in? Is he still in a medical
he's
rehabilitation?
he's not in rehabilitation now. He's been not in rehabilitation at all.
Oh,
because he was living with his dad, and then they moved him to a care home in Portland to be near his brother and services. But there's been a snag, and I don't know at this point. I don't know if he's getting what he really needs, because I don't have power of attorney. So there's really not much I can do legally. So it's just me listening to his heart and listen to him, and then be truthful about, he's got power. It's within him.
Well, obviously.
And just be the mirror of that.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So we're talking about, and I'm talking to my dear sister here. I don't know if everybody knows that we're pretty tight, and have been for years. But you several years ago you left a lifestyle and a life that you were pretty embedded in, which was 30 plus years,
Yeah.
kids, marriage, very, very much embedded into a church, organized religion, a very extreme
At a young
organized.
age, yeah.
And so then you went from there to a horse farm, and you were literally shoveling shit at 57 years old. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And here
Yeah.
you are living in a van
Mm-hmm.
that you manifested by the seat of your pants too. And you're still
Yeah.
smiling, and I'm sure you're still drinking structured water,
Yeah.
and like you said, but like, do you ever just like pinch yourself and say, what the F? What is going on? What
I
did I?
I think lately what I've been saying is, you come a long way, baby.
Yeah,
Right? And I allow myself, if I have a down day or whatever, I have them. I
yeah,
just allow them, and I let myself be comforted by my, my inner child and all that. I allow that. And then pretty much it's over within the day or the next day, and off we go. What's the next fun thing we can do?
right.
You know?
Are you now? I know Oregon is very unique, and I guess you could call it progressive in terms of consciousness. I mean, at least they've been in the game for quite a while. Oregon, parts of Washington, northern. But do you meet? I mean, do you meet a lot of interesting people? Are you meeting people? Are you seeing any evidence that this global awakening is really hitting? Hitting and expanding.
I'm not sure I actually meet them. I just am, you come into the vicinity of them.
Okay.
There's not really a lot of talking going on in a depth thing. The honey lady, I know she's at the farmer's market, Chetco honey lady. She goes, do you know? So she just tells me this. Do you know we have more light workers in Brookings per capita than anywhere in the U.S.? And I'm like, oh, really? I'm not sure who they
I
all
wonder
are.
where she got that statistic from. Maybe it's from the CDC or whatever they are, the
I
ones with the
don't
COVID.
know. I don't know, but I do have some girlfriends that I met here,
Wow.
when I hurt my shoulder. And so we're still in touch, but we're not always like speaking lately. We're all deep in our
Yeah.
move, and so they're always here. They help do some grids here, so there's a lot of people that do that. But I think it's just, we're all shifting again, and the
Yeah.
vibrational we're not really all, what do you call it, meeting up at all right now. I think
Right.
I'm getting a awareness as to what I'm here for, and it's definitely the new earth. So
Right.
that's pretty clear that it's starting here for me in this area. And then I had unfriended a gal because she was in the venting stage, and again, like you said, it just got to where anytime I would post something, then she would have a counteractive comment, and it was like, okay, yeah. So we were going through those things. She was a mirror for me too, but I just unfriended her. And
Yeah.
it's not, I always send love. It's not because it just means I don't want to engage.
Right.
I don't want to have that.
You're gonna
And
come
so
back.
anyway, lo and behold, she got her band done, and she saw me on Lady Nomads group on Facebook. And oh my God. So she wanted to friend me again. And she said, she's all done. She's in California right now, but at the end of the month, she's going to be up here, and she wants to buy some property with she has a condo in Bend, Oregon. She wants to what do you call that? Reinvest that, sell that, and buy something here for sustainable living place.
So many people want to do that.
For tiny home and all that. So yeah, I see that in my future as well. That it's a home nest. Like, birds come and they have a nesting ground. Right. I want that for myself. And then, but also have the ability to go when I'm ready or called to go somewhere. So,
are you on a laptop or on the phone?
I'm on the phone.
Somebody asked if we could see your van.
See my van?
Yeah. Is it a mess?
Well, if I take it off here, then yeah. Huh? Well, what I will do is you can see the van on YouTube.
Okay.
It's Angie's Shine Your Light Road Trip. And it's on YouTube, and I've already done lots of filming of the van.
Angie's Shine Your Light
Road Trip.
Your Light Road Trip. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think if I haven't changed it, I plan to change it to Soul Trip. Shine Your Light Soul Trip.
YouTube. Far out.
It's on my page too. The link.
Have you run into anyone that's like seen you on social media and they're like, "Hey, I know you. You're the lady in the van"?
No. And on the side of it though, I'll tell you, I've been in the van. On the side of it, one of my panels is black, and then on the outside of it, facing the window outward, I've got it written in white paint. It says #Soulogy. So they know where to find me.
And they know where to find you. That's so cool.
And I've heard some young people, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm looking at this hashtag. It says Soulogy." So I hear people talking about it. So I'm kind of a walking, roving,
wow.
What do you call it? An awareness for a network that people can look at. So, from there they could find me too. But yeah, I decided that was good because I didn't really want to put my personal information right out there.
Yeah.
Like on the van.
Yeah.
And so I do that. And yeah. When I got the pet sit before I went over and met the people, they already checked it out. Like checked out the YouTube about me and stuff. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So a lot of people do look at that, see what I'm up to. But like I said, for the last couple months, I haven't put too much on there, just like sunsets and a few things. I haven't really done any personal blogging or vlogging, but I'll be back at it, as I'm called.
Have you noticed like these people that you're running into, like in, what's the name of it? Brookings. Have you noticed like when you do get to talk to people, are they talking about like being tired all the time and energies coming in and being shown shadows, stuff like that?
Well, let's see. I was there at the store yesterday too, and they were training a new guy for the cashier part, and all the computers and the registers are snagging up. And I just told him, well, you guys, you are aware we do have some major solar emissions happening, and it's been affecting definitely the internet and stuff. And she goes, "Oh, is that what it is?" And yeah, I have heard people say they've been feeling like crap. But I don't tell them what it possibly could be. I go, "I hear you," I just, that kind of thing. I'm here to like not so much focus on it, but just say, yes, I'm aware of that I'm aware of this. But I also like don't want to like create within my own self more of that. It's like, how do I maneuver through it with my body? And so lately this week though, I haven't been out and around. The first few days I was up in the BLM land, so I just came down here since the weather got good.
Have you run into any like wolves or bears or anything like that when you
no, just deer. Yeah. No, I always, when I come into an area, I announce who I am and I connect. We were talking, we did this the Harios Gamos thing here recently where you had it with the guys. And so I was an observer and I was there. We did that merging. I kind of did it too. I pretty much was in that whole thing. And what I saw was also, I was merging with New Earth Grid. So it was Mama Earth. And that's what's going on here too. I'm merging with the area and the elementals and all of that. And it's not really something I quite can describe at the moment. It's more vibrational. And so when I go to a place, that's what I do. Like, I intentionally connect, and I'm not here to harm anybody. I'm here to just support and hold a space of love and light. And thank you all for being here. And if you want to share anything with me, so I'm doing that. It's practicing the more energetic way of communicating through
Yeah.
the big spider web of all. And so the body's catching up here, you know.
I agree. I keep saying that I think our greatest superpower is our ability is we're going to find out that
Uh-huh.
of all the things that we get glimpses of or whatever, it's going to be our thoughts.
Yes.
I mean, that's like building blocks. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
communicating with the land and the elementals and the animals
Mm-hmm.
and that's not just somebody's imagination. That's actually thought power. That's constructive,
Mm-hmm.
God's substance power. I mean
It's
that
another
creates.
form of internet. It's
Yep,
it's,
exactly.
and the thing that's probably just really imprinted in me is the Hopi prophecy prayer about, in the, we are in that hour where there'll be the hours, but then we are in the hour of now where people are going to be, the river's flowing very fast and they're going to be panicking or whatever. Don't hold on to the banks. Just get in the water and flow with it, and look around and see who's in there with you in the river. So
Mm,
sometimes I'll do that. I'll tap in a meditation and be in a, I'll hold all of a sudden somebody holds their hand out and we kind of touch etherically, and I look around and see who's all there. So that's fun. I do that sometimes,
mm.
probably more recently than I have in a long time, just to see who's floating around here, just going with it,
It's
you
very
know?
cool. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of people that I've run into talking about dimensional interactions or lucid dream interactions. I mean, it seems like there's more and more of that
Hmm.
that's sticking with us. Have you had any like any sense of the elders, like Sasquatch? Because I know that country is big.
Uh, Yes, I always sense that. More so, I felt it in Shasta when I was
Mm,
there. Here, I was meditating up here above Brookings, up in the forest area, and it's really kind of near the redwoods. Actually, I don't want to tell the place because I don't want people to know where I'm going.
okay.
But yeah, when I was meditating, then there was some natives, Americans. Um, I want to call them indigenous
Mm-hmm.
from back in the day. And there was a group of them, and they came into me etherically, and they were holding the leader or whatever was holding the peace pipe, and they were holding it out to me.
Did you
And
smoke it?
so, no, I just looked at them. I just thought, well, thank you. It was just etheric, so it was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
accept your gift, and yes, I come in peace. And so it was an appreciation and an acknowledgement. And so that's where I feel my work or whatever I'm to do here is part of that, and
Yeah.
the grid work, New Earth, and hold the vision. Because I was telling the guy I was staying with, like he was he gets fired up, about COVID, about certain things. And I say, I understand. Go ahead and vent. You need, do what you need to do. I said, you're going to think I'm weird, but I think I'm here to be the visionary, to envision something different and expand it beyond this, beyond limitation. So that's where I'm going to be putting my energy. I'm not going to be dwelling too much on what I know is happening, but my energy is going to be more for can I imagine is possible? What else is possible? So this keeps me from not getting too down and depressed because that's fun to do
Mm-hmm.
that. If you live there, then life is different through that lens.
True.
And then
True.
obviously I'm very grounded too. So boom, it's not like I don't feel anything or don't know what's going on because I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really what's making this thing go now is we're actually, and I think we actually have been listening to it and engaging it and embodying it. Like if you just look at your own situation, where you came from, going to in your late 50s shoveling horse manure for, in exchange. Just to, I mean, that's crazy. But to get to this
Uh,
point
yeah.
now, it's like there's more. I don't know what I guess because we've all shared so much
Hmm.
that we don't think we're crazy anymore, and we're actually going with the lifestyle, and it's actually
Hmm.
starting to have some magical
Oh yeah.
dividends, right?
Right. No, I don't have to do that anymore. As far as like creating and knowing and having, like I say, I listen to the knower of knowingness. Whatever that energy is, I have it. We all
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
So I start saying things now more and more. My mastery would be to practice I am this and I am that and I am this. I want to call this in, and I'm imagining what that would feel like, So that's where my energy goes, is that's much more fun too. Um, so if I want a nest or a place of my own where I can, you know, put some roots down of plants or whatever, that feels doable. I can do that. I can create that. I'm a creator. So that's natural for me. And back at the time when I left my relationship, my marriage, I didn't have those skills. I was really just depressed and going through the grieving process. So I really, when you're in that, you really aren't so tuned in to your creative process. You
Mm.
pretty much have to surrender to it. And then my highest self took over in many cases. And it also kept growing me. I still kept going through until I got it, that I needed to love myself more, honor myself more. And I wasn't a failure for making a choice to stop that relationship, end it, and move on. So whatever, those programs are about it, or what was said to you, or what people thought of you, all of that caused me a lot of grief because I was believing that.
Right.
So now I don't have to do that. That's what it taught me. Now I don't have to do that. No matter what is said about me, I am pretty strong and firm as to what my divineness is,
Right.
and not letting the rest of it unsettle me for very long.
Yeah. Like the lady in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
She had a problem with you. You didn't make it your problem.
No.
You didn't make it your problem. You just observed it. And
Obviously my little child, my wounded child or whatever, got wobbled. So I said, well, here, let's do something else. So let's go for a bike ride. So I'd get the bike out, and I didn't care if she was out yard looking at me. I just went for a bike ride, and I reclaimed my freedom. My freedom is not dependent on what somebody else thinks of me. So, I found these playful little things to realize you got this really ballsy, fiery goddess within you.
mm-hmm.
And so let's start practicing that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Like these radical wholesale changes that were made by people.
Hmm.
Like 10, 12, 5, 8, 15 years ago started this whole process, and it's just gotten more fluid.
Hmm.
Like what you're doing, like for instance, you said I don't want to tell people where I'm going. I can see where if I were you, I wouldn't either. Like you'd have to be careful because you know what I mean? And I know at the same time you don't want to invite fear, but what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say is you're doing some, and those like you are doing
Hmm.
some pretty, as you said, big ball kind of stuff. Have you
Hmm.
seen that movie Nomad?
Actually, I've heard about it. I thought I had, but I don't think I have. So I'm
Yeah,
going to watch
it's
it
it's
again.
from last year. I almost tried to watch it last night. I'm having a real hard time being able to watch anything, but
Yeah, me
is
too.
it, I looked
That's
for like,
probably why I will.
yeah.
It reminds me, I will look that over
But I
again.
think, yeah, she's really good. Frances McDermott's probably one of the best actresses we've had in the last 50 years. But
Hmm.
uh, the storyline,
Hmm.
and I haven't watched the movie, but the storyline is very much the same. There's a kind of an initiating point or igniting point, as I understand it. Circumstances prevail, and then there's this decision made. I'm just going to get a house on wheels, and I'm just going to travel. And that's all I know about the story, but it feels right. It feels like
Hmm.
this is something that's not. I mean, it'd be different if it were the late 60s, and you had all these teenagers and early 20s people that wanted to go to Canada or they wanted to go live off grid. But you're talking about a lot of people that are in the 45 to 65 age range
Hmm.
that have packed their stuff up, got rid of everything, and have just thrown caution to the wind and said, "I'm
Hmm.
going for it."
Hmm.
I'm doing my best to help two sisters that we know that are in their early 70s
Hmm.
that we connected with a couple of years ago that have been, like so many, been part of these communities. They don't say a lot. They make a comment. They like people's stuff. They don't. And we just happened to meet them, and they sold everything.
Hmm.
They've been established like 10 years,
Hmm.
two different houses, I think, in that 10 years,
Hmm.
because they're from out of the country. So they send me a note and like, we got a download on the 21st of December. We're to get rid of all of our stuff, which they gave away to people that needed it, and loaded their car up and took off for another state. And
Hmm.
they're and you know what I mean? I mean, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
insane. Root chakra fears are gone, right?
Well, it puts, here's what I find is the gift is it keeps you in the moment of now,
Hmm.
because all you're focusing on is really what needs to take care of yourself right now. And as you're moving and driving down the road, it's the same thing. You're just staying aware of what's coming in your field there as you're driving and stuff. It's the same, wherever I go. Like when I was up in the forest, I was curious. I'm like, oh, I haven't been up this road. So I went up it, and of course there's houses right away, but forestry is beyond that, like the wild part. And so one side of the river is kind of polluted with a lot of people that are homeless and that type of thing. I don't
Hmm.
consider myself homeless. I'm more of a gypsy um, adventurer, you know. So I went up the road, and it was raining like all week, it seemed like. And I go, well, I really want to drive up here and see what's up there. So I kept, and there's some signs, a place that I like, oh, really? Is that where it is? And I'll tell you later. But since I am still using that area and I like it, I don't want everybody to like go look in there. But anyway, so there's this really cool place that they'd had a fire and there's baby redwoods growing. I go, I really want to see those. So I was driving
Uh,
around and it was getting pretty sketchy because it was raining so hard, where some of the ravines were like looking like they might fall in or something. So I backed up, but that was after this other truck was coming down, and on the
right.
side of the truck was this sign, and it said Little M's raw food juice. And I go, oh, I know them from the farmers market. And I waved, and it was this gal, and I waved. So um, anyway, they went on by, and I go, that's interesting. I go, I'll check them out when I get down. So there they are up there in the wild, her and a girlfriend driving around. So I met her on Wednesday this last week, and I got a salad from her, and I go, hey, I saw you yesterday. And oh, she goes, that was you. And she was picking my brain about, I knew you were a van lifer or something, because I now have some tubs on my top of my van that I have some storage things in there. And so we got to talking. She goes, well, I'm in the process of, she works like at Fred Meyer, but she started this little business doing juices and stuff. And she goes, I want to get out of it. So she wants to sell everything. And she's in the process of doing the same thing. So I go, well, here's some sites you can go to. These are ladies they're sharing their stories, and the cool stuff is, what you'll learn, what you can do. And if you have questions, you can ask them anything you need to know there. We all kind of have experience of this kind of thing. And so she gave me her card. And so I got a new friend, another van person. She's about to sell her trailer and get out of Fred Meyer and just, take a big jump. And she said her family's really scared for her because
Yeah, of
they're
course.
baby of the family, and she's like 55, and I'm like, god, I'm 64 almost. And I mean, I'm not thinking about it. I don't feel that I'm that age. And so I don't believe that's really a part of my agenda,
Yeah,
is an aging thing.
yeah,
I think if anything, it's childlike wonder is probably where I'm going.
yeah. Well, I think that's what you are, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the
and you,
embodiment of it. The
yes, yeah.
embodiment of it. Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. I think we're like at a point where we've embodied so much that it's starting to have a real immediate impact in the present moment in
Hmm.
our experience.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's like so there's not that planning thing, and I think you
Hmm.
kind of hit on this earlier, but it's more like, and it's not like well, I guess it is like letting go of the bank and just flowing with it, and knowing
Yes.
you're not going to drown
Right.
or hit a stump, or you're just it's
Hmm.
but I see a lot of people doing it. Have you run into anyone that's doing the same thing you're doing, same
Oh
age
yeah, there's
group?
lots of, well,
Yeah.
you're gonna run into people like that. I don't get real friendly with them. Um, some of them are just passing through.
Hmm.
I'm not, I think at this point, I'm just not being real. It's kind of like hi and passing, but I'm not really stopping and visiting much because I'm in my own process, in my own,
Yeah.
like I'm tired. So I don't really, engage or invite a lot of conversation at the moment because that's just where I'm at right now
Yeah.
physically. But it doesn't mean I won't. But I also know that it's who I'm attracting, who's attracted to me and vibrationally. And that's been just tuning in. I'm tuning into that. So it may be different than it used to be. And
Right.
I'm feeling that is that people are they're well, you can see it in animals, the way they always want to come up to me, especially
Right.
the animals. And then you begin engaging and talking with the pet owner. And so it's kind of like that. And I just allow that. I have some flyers out that I pet and house sit, but
Right.
I'm not pushing it. I just say, oh, I'm ready. I know I'm the creator, and I just state it and I let it go. That's how I do it. And then I'm also claiming and saying what I want, and I write it down. Okay, cool. That's done. What's it feel like? All right. So I've just let it go. Completely let it go.
Right. Right. God. And how about how about like physically? I know you had the shoulder issue,
Mhm. Yeah, it's
and
great. It's a little tight this week. Yeah, it's great. It's all healed. I think what it is tendons is what when we have these big plasma surges, I've noticed that things are tight, like in the joints and
yes,
crunchy in the neck. And so
yes,
even with lots of hydration, it's still like that. So I'm just very gentle. Like I
yeah,
just really am gentle with the body because it's doing what it's got to do.
yeah,
And and careful too because dizziness or vertigo. Oh yeah, this was the other thing too. For quite a few weeks before all this happened, like I would imagine since maybe November, my right ear was I had a lot of, I always have like ringing, and I know that's frequencies, but the right one, I kept like, it kept like it was plugged up.
mm,
And I didn't know what that was. I thought it was ascension symptoms. And so lo and behold, I started getting vertigo and I couldn't ride the bike and I was dizzy and I didn't have any balance. And then uh, finally, I just said, I got to, go into the hospital. It was pretty bad because I couldn't hardly hear out of it. And it was all swollen. The eardrum was completely swollen. So they dug around, cleaned it out, this and that. So that took this is like we're going on a month now. And it's just now where I'm back in balance, where I'm
wow,
not feeling. So, I really couldn't do a lot because I didn't want to get hurt for one thing.
right,
So those kinds of physical things were happening, and I had to get some eardrops and stuff. But yeah, so things show up, and I don't know what that was about, but I could definitely hear better. But I think it took me down to just you need to lay down, you need to take it easy,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We've been talking about this, but the body just, I mean, because it continues. The body just keeps the voice of the body, if you
Hmm.
will, keeps getting louder and louder
Yeah.
and louder.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it
And
just,
listening to this is how to hone in on everything because, what I've been doing is the Helios Gamos with all my parts, all my aspects,
oh wow,
my highest self, my future self, my soul self, like all of the aspects. I'm merging them all. And that means all my shadows as well. to merge in there. So they're doing something. Something's going on here. They're having a party.
Yeah.
And we're getting awareness, like I want to call it symbiotic flow with all of it, so that
Yeah.
I really don't think about it now. I just know it's all, everybody's on the same
Yeah.
frequency.
Yeah. It feels to me like it's more like messages and
Mm-hmm.
not like demands. Like don't do this
Yeah.
and don't do that. I don't get it like that. I get uh like it might be something like coffee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably drink 5 cups a day up until 3 or 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'll wake up and because you have habits, right?
Yes.
And I'll get a coffee and I'll prepare it and it'll sit there and go cold
Mm-hmm.
because I won't even think about it. Or I'll get up and have a half a coffee and maybe another half a coffee 2 hours later. Uh, but it's like, I don't know. It's just like it's going away. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. But
Yeah.
it's not, it's so effortless and so
Yeah.
fluid, right?
Yeah. Natural. It's very natural. I'm like, yeah,
And
there's nothing to really force or like
no,
use your mind to like, what do you call it, overpower it or anything. It's just naturally happening. And the more I let go and just trust that, it's not even trust, it's a knowing.
yeah,
It's like a new awareness, and know, it's the knower of knowingness is
you can't
coming
really,
through me because
yeah,
I'm letting it. And the same, what, like you were saying, like even what I used to like when I was kind of laying down and it couldn't really do much anyway, I was watching a lot of like Netflix or certain things. I was going through things like my cycles of uh, shadows and stuff to really see where am I at with that.
hmm,
And and now it's like none of that interests me. It's like, oh, I'm going to sleep.
yeah,
I just shut it all off. Like, nah,
yeah.
I'm going to bed. Right? I'd rather go to dream state.
I can relate to that because I like to
Yeah,
connect. I like to commune when I go to sleep, and
yeah.
but I've noticed this year, especially the last couple of weeks, like I will connect, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
have some things go on, but at some point I'll just go, oh, I'm just going to go to sleep. I roll
Mm-hmm.
over and say a couple of affirmations, and then I just go to sleep because I know it's getting
Yeah.
done. It's getting done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
that
it really is. I think we've already, how many times do you have to say it every day to redo it? I think we just now automatically do that, that it's all working it out.
yeah,
I do lately, I've tried this thing too, like to just, if I'm kind of clogged up with energy or something, I ask for a light bath, to wash over me with the light beings and the, I don't know, benevolent angels and ascended masters or whoever. Now it's just, I just call it light beings.
mm-hmm,
And I just said today, I am asking and requesting this every day from now on. If you see that I could use that and that will support me in this flow, uh, then I don't have to ask you again. Just
just
know
put a
it's already
program,
automatic.
yeah, put it
Yeah,
in
it's just
that
it's always there. I don't have to
perpetuates.
speak it anymore. So the I am and presence is making life so much more freer,
Yeah,
more relaxed, with more ease,
yeah,
and so it's already worked out.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you
Like
know,
the thing with the body too. It's like I don't. To me, it feels like my light body.
hmm
Like I can feel my light body. I can almost see my light body, and I can feel that the adjustments my physical body is making, or the road it's being led down, is to accommodate the light body. That's what
hmm
I'm getting at. That's what it
yeah,
feels like.
yes,
Like there's
yes,
certain things that I can see already. I won't be able to do this because it'll be unbearable for the light
hmm
body. It'd be like somebody taking a blowtorch and setting it to a part of our body. We would feel that,
hmm
and so there's certain things that the light body, like food, is another one.
hmm
Like the food thing's crazy.
hmm
I mean, it's just
yeah.
crazy. There'll be
Well, it's
times,
and it's all energies too.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm
And I saw. Did you see that Schumann resonance from yesterday? That was a cross.
Whoa!
Wasn't
I
that
was like,
wild?
wow, talk about horizontal and vertical. Like. right? I was like, that's exactly what it felt like too. Just
That's what I thought when I saw it. That's exactly what I thought.
and it felt like it hit right here. The center was right in here for me. The solar
Yeah.
plexus and right in here. And there were a little bit there for a day or two, kind of like digestive issues. But mostly it's just been the neck and a headache, like wake up with a
Mm.
headache and stiff and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's all right. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, I
Right?
get that same thing in the joints too. The tendons in the
Yes.
joints
Yeah.
and the
And my
back and the
shoulder's been bothering me there too.
well.
So I just it's self-love, self-care,
Mm.
be gentle, be kind. And I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I'm just that's why I'm sticking more to myself because I
Mhm.
know I need that right now,
How
just to
how
rest.
how far are you from the ocean?
I'm right here.
You're
I'll
on the
show you.
ocean. You're on the ocean. Uh-oh.
Here's my view.
Oh my God. Is that BM? That's so beautiful. Is that BLM land or what
Oh
is that?
no, this is there's Brookings right there.
Okay, so it's like a just a public place you can hang out.
The other side of it. 101 is over this way, where they call it the coastal highway is that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, back door.
Wow.
So yeah,
I,
I'll probably go down there again. I go like a couple of times.
I have an oh I can't hear you anymore. I shouldn't have had you move that. Are you there? Are you there? Hmm. I think we lost you, unfortunately.
Show you over here. Trees,
Oh, there you
my
are.
tree friends that are right. Actually, there's a state park through the trail, and so I go and sneak in there and get a shower, and then I hang out with the trees. And then there's a trail that goes way up on a big rock. I go up there. I'll probably go there today.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was a little too tired, so I didn't want to climb. It's straight up, and so
Really?
I thought, oh, today. And I had the wrong shoes on. If
Be,
you don't have the right shoes on, you could twist an ankle. So I go, oh, I'll do that tomorrow and put the right shoes on. And then I'll go up there and it's like a bird's nest view of all around. But
wow.
this is right by town. So I don't have to go very far.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a friend that lives over there that I've
Yeah.
known about as long as I've known you. I haven't talked to her in a long time, but
Yeah.
I know that she lives very close. Let me see if I can. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find her.
Brookings is in what's called Curry County.
Yeah, I will. I'll look her up. I'll look her up on Facebook and connect y'all. Very cool lady. Actually has very much the same energy as you do. Very much into the animals, the elementals. She lives right. I think she lives right around there. But I'll look it up. It's good seeing you. You look great, by the way. Must be the van life. We lost you. We lost you. Well, okay. We'll give her a second or two. Angie Parker, brave. Did you hear what she said? She's about to be 64 and she's out there doing this. We lost her. Well, everybody, thank you for coming in. Let me just take a moment to say thank you for your continued love and support and contributions that allow us to keep doing this every day, because we couldn't if it wasn't for you all. And thank you for coming to our support last week because it was a pretty crucial point. Anyway, I don't want to get all emotional. It's too early in the week for that. All right, love you guys. And thank you, Angie. Sorry you got knocked out. We'll see you later.